James Turner for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so this is my last of these videos, post-fight reviews, breakdowns, post-fight thoughts from the Saudi card this past Saturday. It was a fun card. I enjoyed it, but you know, one of the fights that I had a hard time making a prediction on was Hamzah Sheeraz versus Carlos Adames because I thought it was a very even fight. You know, I feel like Hamzah Sheeraz was, generally speaking, on an upward trajectory. Adames hasn't really been fighting like that. And Adames, you know, like with the fight being in the Middle East and Hamzah Sheeraz getting a little bit of special treatment because he is, you know, an Arab fighter, you know, I just felt like in a close fight, he'll get a decision or it could be a draw. Like, I feel like for Adames, anything other than a knockout or an emphatic boxing lesson was not going to get him a decision, right? So in this fight, we got a competitive fight. We got Hamzah Sheeraz early in the fight using his size, using his reach to control the distance and the space in which the fight was fought at. And then as the fight wore on and Adames, you know, picked up on his timing, picked up on his rhythm, picked up on his range, you know, you saw Adames showing that slickness that a lot of Hispanic fighters have. Counter-punching ability, the ability to place shots to the body and to the head. And I think that he was, as the fight wore on, he was outboxing Hamzah Sheeraz. And when I looked at what Hamzah Sheeraz wasn't doing in the later rounds, Hamzah Sheeraz just lacked the ability to make the adjustments he needed to make in this fight. You know, he didn't really make the adjustments that I was looking for and that he needed to make to show and validate the hype that he's been getting recently as one of the top middleweights in the world. You got to remember, this is the same Hamzah Sheeraz that was shaking Johnny Beck's hand, talking about, oh, I'm going to fight you next, you know, after I beat Carlos Adames. Completely overlooking Carlos Adames. Completely just overlooking him and what he brought to the table because he's thinking about Johnny Beck. And that's why he didn't perform well. That's one of the main reasons I don't think he performed up to his ability. And, yeah, honestly, what I'll say is this. Anybody who's watched any of my videos and coverage of the middleweight division over the last 2 to 3 years, I've been very adamant in telling you guys that right now in boxing, over the last 3 years, the middleweight division is the worst division in boxing. And you know, if there was ever a fight which validated that claim, it's this fight. This is the worst division in boxing right now because Adames is a champion. He fought a good fight. He should have got the decision, but he didn't really show the gap in class you need to show as a champion against a younger, inexperienced fighter for him to really like make those kind of waves in boxing. Even if he would have won, it's not like he would have been looked at as any sort of pound-for-pound fighter. Look at Johnny Beck, who's a good fighter, who's got some potential, but like he's had some moments in his career where he ain't even looked the best. You know, like the Denzel Bentley fight, Vaughn Alexander, and then he's been fighting a bunch of cans, just being honest, right? Cannon fought opposition, guys that he's supposed to knock out. Andre Mikhailovich, you know, those kind of guys. The dude he fought his last fight, he unified with Vincenzo Gutierrez, who really shouldn't even have been a champion, but that's how bad this weight class is. So the middleweight division is in shambles. It really is in shambles. And the fact that Hamzah Sheeraz was being propped up to no end as like one of the top guys, and he still is one of the top guys. He's one of the top young guys. But that's my point. Like the fact that he's one of the top young guys shows you that this division ain't what it used to be. You know, this isn't Bernard Hopkins' middleweight division. This isn't Carlos Monzon's middleweight division. It's not them times. So, yeah, was Adames robbed? I think he was. I don't think Better Be a Bivol was a robbery. You know, and I didn't think the first Better Be a Bivol fight was a robbery. I feel like people throw that word robbery around a lot. But this fight, I thought it was robbery. I thought Adames won the fight clearly. I thought he outboxed Sheeraz. I thought he had Sheeraz looking like a regular fighter. You know, it was such a robbery that, you know, Turki Al Sheikh, which I'll talk about more later on, he gets his own special video. But Turki Al Sheikh, he had to literally go up to Sheeraz in the middle of the fight, like in the middle of between one of the rounds where Sheeraz was getting some work done in the corner. He had to go tell Sheeraz, you're down by 2 rounds. So he probably looked and peeked at the scorecards or told the judges to show the scorecards or whatever the case may be. And he informed Sheeraz of what the deal was. And like that lets you know right there that Sheeraz was not up to par. That Sheeraz was not up to the standard that he was supposed to be up to, because Turkey Al-Sheikh had to go let him know that his ass is losing. So very disappointed, because to me, like, Sheeraz, I felt like coming into this fight, you know, he is a British fighter and he does have some British tendencies with his style, being a textbook fighter. But he has been sparring in America for a long time. He has been getting a lot of looks with a lot of top American sparring. So I always felt like, you know, he would have, because of that sparring and because of the gym experience, he was going to be able to show enough of a gap in class against Carlos Adames for him to, you know, bang his hands on the desk and say, you know what, John Levesque, give me the fight. I want you next. But that's not what we got. What I saw was a regular British fighter. And if you want, I'm not trying to put down the Brits, because I love British boxing, but you guys know what I mean. Like, a lot of these British fighters, sometimes they can't make adjustments. They're too textbook. And in this fight, when he finally got a guy who was slicker and more experienced and, you know, knew how to get past that lead left hand, he ran out of ideas and he looked like a regular British fighter, regular British textbook fighter. And, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, he can come back and make adjustments and come back better. And I hope that's what happens for his sake. And hopefully they can do a rematch. I wish they could do it on a neutral site, because, you know, in Saudi Arabia, Hamzah Sheeraz is like Canelo. At this point, Hamzah Sheeraz is like Canelo. Look how high they had him on the card. Look at Turkey going over to tell him that he's down by 2 rounds. They have a vested interest in Hamzah Sheeraz winning. So when you fight him in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, you might as well just consider it like you're fighting Canelo. And you need, you know, before, when you get to Saudi Arabia and you get off the plane, you're already down 2 points. When the bell rings, you're already down 2 points. So that's how opponents against Hamzah Sheeraz in Saudi have to treat these fights, and they have to go there with the mentality to knock him the fuck out. Because if you don't, and you try to outbox him, and the fight is somewhat close, you're not getting a decision. And that's just that. And Carlos Adames showed us that. Good performance from him. He retains the belt. Maybe they can run it back and we can get a more decisive outcome in the rematch. But yeah, the middleweight division is the worst division in boxing right now, and we need someone to really light this division up again, because Johnny Beck ain't doing it, Hamzah Sheeraz ain't doing it, Adames ain't doing it, and you know, there's not really a whole lot going on. You know, so that being said, you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think of the fight? Do you think Hamzah won? Do you think the Adames won? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say, every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.